It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's showtime. Bam. Hey, the Geno Jones Show. I know. Hey, dude, why are you yelling at him? Why are you yelling at a brother and sister? I could hear you. You know, oh, man, I just thought about something. I digress. We'll talk about that later. So I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30. Hello, Chicago, everybody Central Time. 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon live in Los Angeles and everybody on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show channel. Subscribe and share, screen grab, rip some of the video, like, binge watch all my back episodes, please, or as James Brown would say, please, 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 please. All I need is the cape. Throw the cape off and Maceo, put the cape on the brother. Please, 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 please. Subscribe to the channel and support Black-owned media. Please, if you would like to financially support my media company, my channel, and the Geno Jones Show and Black media and voices like mine in general, you can Zelle Geno Jones. Just use my email, which is a Gmail. So use my email, GenoJonesShow@gmail. Real simple. Not the Geno Jones Show, Gmail. You can Zelle your financial, your contribution, your support, your angel investment, your love offering, a bless a brother, however you want to phrase it. All right with me, as Janet Jackson said in a song with Heavy D back in the day. You can cash app. It is $ Dad G Jones. All one word. That's a $ capital D, lowercase AD, capital G, capital J, lowercase ONES. Coming up, my guest, R&B, this talented brother, Star, got some new fire that we're going to talk about. And we're just going to have a conversation and just talk about the brother's journey because he is bad. His name is Anthony David. Sure, many of you know him, you know of him, you've heard his music. He's done it for a minute, not as long as I've been in this game, nowhere close to that, but you know, he's been doing, you're familiar with his music, and he's gonna come on, we're gonna talk about that, but we're gonna talk about his new joint, which is really fire. I'm excited about that. All right, speaking of fire, oh my God, the Met Gala, the big event, the huge, it's like the fashion event of the year. They do it every year in New York City, the Met Gala. So this year it had like a theme, a black centered theme. It's called dandyism and a history of, because you know, we as black people, just African Americans and just black folks, part of the African diaspora, we set the pace, we set the tone, we are the tastemakers. We established the standard of what's going to be considered fly or hot or whatever you want, whatever words you want to use for this, the epitome of style and fashion and cool and swag, art, music, fashion. The world has always followed our trends when it came to the arts and music and fashion. So they were celebrating something called Black Dandyism. Back in the day when folks was like, I mean, suited and booted and just impeccably tailored garments for men and women. But Miss Ree, can I shout out Riri? Speaking of fire, Riri rocked the red carpet last night at the Met Gala with her man A$AP Rocky with her fire. Man, she had this black suit. It was straight fire. Then she had like this, almost, wasn't a bow tie, but it was kind of like, so the tie kind of went like that. Not an ascot, but it was fly, and she had the whole black suit on, and then she had on this cold-blooded black hat. And on top of it, she had a brand new baby bump. So congratulations, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are gonna be parents again, baby number 3, two sons. I think one son is 2. The other one is 1 year old. So I guess Rihanna's like, we gonna go ahead. Listen, Rocky, we gonna rock this thing. We gonna get these babies. We gonna get them right together. We ain't gonna spread it out. Have them 10, 15 years apart. Let's do this and do it now and keep it moving. So congratulations to Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, just rocking the red carpet at the Met Gala. More important, congratulations, soon to be a new mommy again to Rihanna and a new papa to brother ASAP Rocky. And there were so many, really, it was so many stars with some incredible fashions, definitely some hits. There was a few misses, but I ain't gonna call. I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna call any name because they tried. You know, sometimes you can try to pull off a look, and you can try something. And in the words of Keith Sweat, in one of his songs from back in the day, from his debut album, you can try as hard as you want, but something just ain't right. And some folks, I don't know if they looked in the mirror. Well, most in that case, in those cases, those stars they pay people, stylists, to put together a look for them. But some of them should have looked in the mirror before they walked out of the house to the Met Gala. And I'm sure that themselves, somebody, or their reflection in the mirror would have been like, something just ain't right. You might want to remix that. But anyway, I digress. All right, before I bring my guest on, I got to, sometimes, sometimes if you are not, and I know it's not human nature, but listen, I just got to say this, because sometimes everything ain't for everybody. And just because you know something, or you think you know something, or you heard something, you don't have to repeat it. Now, I know that kind of flies in the face of the times that we're living in, because, folks want the clicks and the likes, and, folks, there've always been people who just wanted to seem like they knew everything, and they know everybody, and they know everybody's business, and they want to be like, I don't know, they want to be what, Lester Holt or Don Lemon in the gossip world. They want to be TMZ, and they gotta, oh man, did you know about this? Did you know about so-and-so? They want to be the first one to break the news, or they heard it from somebody else and they want to go public with it. And okay, I get it, but sometimes, just stop talking. Just shut up. Don't say nothing. Who am I? What am I talking about? And look, I'm a fan of my man. Actually, he was born in Chicago, I guess raised in Cleveland. Terrence Howard, Mr. Lucius Lyon from the TV show Empire, from the whole Best Man franchise movies with, you had Morris Chestnut, Terrence Howard was in there, Nia Long was in there, just a great ensemble cast. I really love that whole Best Man franchise and series. So Terrence Howard, listen, he's, come on, Hustle and Flow, whoop that trick, and it's hard out here for a pimp. Man, Taraji P. Henson, she killed that song. So anyway, Terrence Howard was, I guess, doing a podcast. Maybe he was on Bill Maher's show. That's problematic right there, Terrence. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe because you out in Hollywood, you and Bill are cool. Y'all have smoked a little weed, twisted a couple up. Maybe, allegedly, possibly, I don't know. Or maybe y'all kind of kicked it with some, because, Bill Maher has dated a couple black women in his past, so he thinks he gets a pass to kind of just say what he want to say about black folks. But no, Bill Maher, you don't. We don't F with Bill Maher, period, because he done really went MAGA, went to the White House, and then tried to get into feelings. Well, President Obama didn't invite me to the White House, and Bill Clinton didn't invite me to the White House. Well, I guess because they knew you was a snake, you was phony. Because black people used to rock with Bill Maher, including myself, but he revealed himself, because he was really on some really anti-Muslim. He said some really foul, slick-ish about Muslims for a while. It's like, okay, dude, you really, thou protest too loudly and hard. But anyway, so Terrence Howard sitting down on some platform, and the subject about a movie about Marvin Gaye, because there's been a lot of talk about people that want to do biopics about Marvin Gaye's life. So when you had Bill Maher asked Terrence Howard, I guess he said, I hear that people wanted you, Terrence Howard, to play Marvin Gaye. And then Terrence just kind of volunteers, well, no, because Quincy Jones told me that Marvin Gaye was gay. So Quincy Jones, who's dead, who, what, in 2017 when he released his book, 2018, this kind of tell-all book where, he was claiming, half the brothers in Hollywood that had sex with Marlon Brando, and Marvin Gaye's name was thrown in that kind of pot. Said, what is it, Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye. It was another black guy. Somebody, allegedly, some other black star in Hollywood that Marlon Brando supposedly had sex with. Okay. All right. So that's Quincy Jones, who ain't even around no more. But okay, we got that. So you had to come on and say that. Now, I will say this. So, when I heard that, full disclosure, my mother, was traveled in the same circles that Marvin Gaye did back in the day. As a matter of fact, my mother knows and knew entertainers, singers who went out on tour with Marvin Gaye, who were his contemporaries. So my mother also knew some women that Marvin Gaye had dated, been linked with romantically. So I know that my mother had a unique perspective, and I've known this about Marvin Gaye. So I'm like, okay, I hear you, Terrence Howard. So you were going on what Quincy Jones was telling you, because he put all this in a tell-all book to sell books. Now, I've been in this game 3.5, going on 4 decades. I started, radio 18, 19. Lived in LA, still got people in LA, traveled in circles, knew folks that worked at Marvin Gaye's label when he went, his last label, when he was with CBS, and just people who knew, and not to mention my mother, who all of it was, if Marvin was alive, Marvin Gaye would be probably in his mid-80s, so my mom is a couple years younger. So she not just grew up, but she traveled in these circles. So she had a unique perspective about Marvin Gaye. And one thing that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, that Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Marvin Gaye, of course, they made a song, I think, Ain't Nothing But Like the Real Thing. And Mother, you can help me out there. I think they made more than one song. But according to my mother, Marvin Gaye really was in love with Tammy Terrell. And I read before that, like when Tammy Terrell died, that Marvin Gaye was really devastated. Now, I've seen this in books talking about Tammy Terrell's story and Marvin Gaye's story, but more important, before I even saw or read these stories, my mother has shared these stories with me. So it was verification, somebody who was actually around these people. But all the people that I know and know of, I've never, ever heard anybody talk about Marvin Gaye being gay. Now, if he was, that's his business. So yeah, there was a significant number of folks in Hollywood, black, white, who were on the down low. That's their business. Folks like that in life. But sometimes people will say stuff for whatever, and it ain't like Terrence Howard needs attention. I don't know what his motivation was, but he was like, well, I couldn't play Marvin Gaye because I couldn't do it justice. I'm paraphrasing. I couldn't really get into the role because I'd have to kiss a man because Quincy Jones said that Marvin Gaye was gay, and it's like, really, dude? So, I mean, yeah, he's Quincy Jones, but his mouth ain't a prayer book necessarily. So I guess my point is, sometimes if you don't really know, especially when folks are dead and gone, like, can we just keep it moving? Even if it was true, if he was gay, and what? Or bisexual, what we gonna do with that now? But you know, when you make statements, and people who were around the person that you make this accusation about, who were around that person and these people, but even before they prime, when they first came on the scene, because you were nowhere to be found when Marvin Gaye was in his late teens and early 20s. Terrence Howard, you weren't probably not even a gleam in your daddy's eye at that time. So, just, okay, just because you want to say it, or can't say it, or think that somebody told you that you think they knew, you know, sometimes just shut up. Just stop talking. So that's that on that. But come on, Terrence, we can have this conversation. As a matter of fact, Terrence, I tell you what, you come on the show, and I'll have my mother come on the show. I'll have her come on via Zoom, and y'all want to have that conversation. But like I said, it's irrelevant now. It doesn't change Marvin Gaye's legacy. Marvin Gaye was truly, anybody you talk to, even dudes, is like, man, these women love Marvin Gaye, and Marvin Gaye had a reputation. He loved women. He was married 3 times. He was married to Berry Gordy's sister, Anna Gordy. And then they got divorced. He did a whole album about that divorce called "Here, My Dear." Like, here, my dear, take it all. Since you're gonna take it. He was really in his feelings. The album didn't sell a lot, but I guess it was therapy for Marvin Gaye. But then, of course, he came back because he went to Europe and he owed the IRS a lot of money. Came back with Sexual Healing, that whole album. And just, tragically, his father shot and killed him. I'll never forget. April Fool's Day, April 1st, 1984. And Marvin Gaye's birthday is on April 2nd. And I thought people were playing a cruel April Fool's joke. I almost punched somebody. Because they were telling me, like, no, man, this ain't no April. I'm like, dude, if you about to get knocked. Stop with this foolishness. Talking about Marvin Gaye's father shot him. He was like, Geno, this is not an April Fool's joke. Then I found out, for myself. I said, let me check and see. And I was like, I was blown away. So, okay, Terrence, just, you don't want to play Marvin Gaye? Don't play Marvin Gaye. Trust me. We got some folks that can play Marvin Gaye. And look, you don't want to kiss. Look, I'm not kissing men. I get that, but just the whole thing about, well, Quincy told me. Did Quincy say he slept with Marvin Gaye? No, he didn't say that. He claimed that Marlon Brando supposedly slept with Marvin Gaye and Richard Pryor. So, this third and fourth person, I digress. Let me bring my guest on, all right? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my guest has got a brand new music song called The Longest Time. This brother is dynamite, and I am excited to have him on the show to talk about his new music, but just talk about just his story and about his music, and hear his story and his inspiration and everything he's got coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's my brother. You see him right there, Anthony David. Welcome to the show, my man. Oh, unmute your mic for me there.
I got you. Yeah.
There we go. Welcome, brother. How you doing? Thank you, Anthony, for coming on the show. I apologize. Look, you blame Terrence Howard. I didn't mean to. I was excited. I was excited for Rihanna and A$AP Rocky because I saw the pictures and videos, and she unveiled her baby bump. They were at the Met Gala, and her outfit was like straight fire. And then I'm like, wait a minute, she pregnant. She got a little baby bump. So that was a cool way for them to kind of, Because folks are nosy. Just talking about that, folks they gonna gossip anyway. So I guess she's like, okay, you know what? We ain't gonna do this, guy. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm pregnant. I'm gonna do it
Right.
on my terms. So I love the way she did that, and then that kind of just segued into Terrence Howard. But enough of him.
Congratulations to them.
Well,
Shoot.
hey man, listen, congratulations on your new project,
Appreciate
The
it.
Longest Time. So I want to talk about that, but share your story with us, man, because when I have my guests come on, we just have conversations, and
Yeah.
everybody has a story, and
Yeah.
if you don't mind, share your story, and because I remember you got started with the early 2000s, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you just had some fire. But what has that journey been like for you? Because what is it close? Is close? Is it close to 20 years? Help me with the
Yeah,
math.
yeah. So it's pretty simple story. Yeah, my first album is actually the celebrated its 20th year. My first album, Three Chords and the Truth. So I just did the 20th year anniversary of that last year.
Okay, that's what I thought, around 20 years.
24,
Okay.
yeah, because my first album came out '04. Before that, I got involved, professionally in music, producing, writing songs, and touring with India Ari. And like I said, she ended up well, I went independent, did was on an independent label out of Atlanta for a couple of years, and then I actually did a deal with her and was on her imprint on Universal Republic around 2008 or so, something like that. And that had the song with the duet with her called Words,
Right.
and that did really well. And then ended up jumping off of that label and went to E1, back independent basically, and put out Forevermore with Algebra Blessette, and that one,
That is still my joint. I love
yeah, yeah.
it.
Surprisingly enough, that was bigger than, well, Words is done well and it just sticks around, you know what I'm saying? But that song hit the charts and went pretty
Right.
high.
Who did the
And
beats on Forevermore?
Forevermore. Oh yeah, that was my boy DJ Kemet. He's originally from Milwaukee. He was with Arrested Development back in the day and all that.
Okay. I
He's one
saw
of my
pictures
favorite
of Speech and his wife, his queen.
guys.
Uh,
Yeah.
it was like some African theme event. They look good. So wait, so Anthony, what's home for you?
Well, I'm in Atlanta. I'm from Savannah originally.
Okay. Oh, you right
But
down the way from me here
yeah,
in
where
Charleston.
are you from? South Carolina or
Well, I'm
something?
here in Charleston, South Carolina. I do my
Oh,
show
you're in
live here in
Charleston.
Charleston,
That's
South
right. We talked
Carolina.
about that yesterday.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been here 20 years.
Yeah, that's
But
the
yeah,
thing is like I don't get to Charleston much because when I'm going that way, I tend to,
go
go
home. Yeah, I got it.
you
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
we
saying?
right down or up 17. I could jump on
Yeah.
17, head down,
Low
straight shot
country,
to
you know what
Savannah.
I'm saying?
So,
Yeah, so I'm from there, and I moved to Atlanta. I got my music game going, and like Atlanta, pretty much. I always say Savannah born, Atlanta bred. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like that. I
Atlanta
like that.
really is where I got my music thing going. A lot of people in Savannah didn't even know I did music for the longest, and so yeah, that was it. You know what I mean? That's what here we are now. 6, 7 albums in now. You know what I'm saying? This is my
Wow.
first
Congrats on
original
that.
material, and probably original material maybe 10 years because I did the last thing I put out. Well, the last official full project I put out was a dedication to Bill Withers about 6 years ago.
I
Yeah.
like
So
that. All right. So you said when you were at home in Savannah, people didn't really know that you were doing music. When did you know that music is what you really wanted to do?
moving around here, you know what I'm saying? I got involved in the like poetry scene because I was always a writer all my life. I always, as soon as I could, my mom taught me how to read early. So, and that was just a key that unlocked everything. So I was always writing, 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 writing. Used to go actually, since we're talking Charleston, I used to go to a lot of the Geechee Islands. There's one called the Fusky. We ride the tugboat out there. My
Yeah.
birthday was every year. I would go just with a fresh new notebook and just jot. That's what I
Cute.
always did. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that the songwriting and all that was a profession. So when I moved here, I met India when I moved here, but we didn't do music. About 3 years in, we started. She always sang, but I never heard her sing because we just talked about it. We just love music, play music around each other all the time. And then we got into the game. I got into the poetry scene around here a little bit, and
In
then I got
Atlanta, you
dad
talking
and
about
started.
in Atlanta, the
Yeah,
poetry scene? Okay.
yeah. So then I got bored with that and started putting melody to it. You know
How
what I
did
mean?
how did you and India, Ari, how did you all meet?
I just met her when I got out the car when I moved here. She was just walking in the underground. Back then, the underground was like a thing. That's where you just always go.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
in
I mean?
Atlanta. For those who don't know, Atlanta Underground is like,
Hmm.
that
I
was
was
it's like a
just
spot,
always, first
social
thing I
spot where
ever,
folks, meet
yeah,
and
I
hang.
heard that was a spot. So I
Yeah.
got out, I do from high school and seen her. She looked interesting to me. Started talking to her, and then that was it. We just hung out. When I moved back, because I was still looking for an apartment at the time. I was
Okay.
in the military. I moved here from the military.
What branch? What branch of service?
Army, Fort Bragg. Yeah,
Salute you, brother, to your service. How long were you in?
like 4 years. Yeah,
Okay. Well, and you
and
just decided you just got tired, or you knew you really wanted to pursue your music.
yeah. I went to war, and I
Whiwhich one?
Desert
Uh,
Storm. Yeah,
Desert
yeah. I
Storm.
was there
Wow.
for 9 months, and
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
while
I
I was
see.
there, that has a lot to do with my decisions to, pursue what I wanted to do because I
Yeah.
was there, and I remember when you're there for a couple of months. It's like a lot of things when you create that habit. You're just this is your life every day, and I was like, damn, I think this is where it ends for me. And then when they said that it was over and we were waiting to go home, so I get home, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna do what I want to do then.
That's right. Because
I didn't know
God had favor
nothing.
on you, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are a lot of your fellow brothers and sisters in
Oh yeah.
arms who went
Mhm.
in with you who didn't make it back home like you did. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
yeah,
sure. And I have a lot of good, but most of my best friends are from that period. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day. You know what I mean? Because that's a bond that just is really can't be broken. It's an experience that not a lot of people get.
yeah. When you got to
It's a
depend on
lot.
somebody
It's
for,
a lot in my
I can
life.
only imagine. I never served. I got family, but I mean, literally, when you depend on this person next to you or behind you,
Yeah.
to literally protect you and save your life,
Mhm.
that's next level right there.
And just being that close to him, because we didn't experience anything like that. Like we didn't have to, well, something close, but never, nothing, really like that. And but in close contact every day, we slept on cots and tents every day, and right next to each other all the time. Had a lot of fights, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. So and plus
So
it
when you
was
say you had a lot of fights, you mean just because
with each other.
oh with each other, really? Well, y'all supposed to be fighting it because
Well, yeah, I
there's a,
mean, yeah, we
so
were.
Desert Storm. Were you in Kuwait? Well, that was Kuwait, right?
Yeah, we were in Saudi Arabia in
Saudi
a
Arabia.
place, and then we actually were in Iraq for a couple
What
of
were y'all fighting about, man?
man, we're too close to each other. We was living
Got
with
on
each
each
other.
other's nerves. I get it.
Yeah. So and even
MF, give me the damn man.
yeah,
You always watching. I want to see the game.
and even back home. I mean, we're 18 years old, so you know what I'm saying, like,
Oh yeah, you
boy,
got that energy too. Oh yeah, you're
yeah,
18. Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
and we not only fought each other, but sure, I fought more in the city of Fayetteville than actual war. You know
Oh,
what I'm
so
saying?
you had already had basic training before basic training.
All right,
You was
yeah,
like, oh, this ain't y'all poop bus. This ain't nothing, y'all.
yeah.
Come on back to the crib with me.
I don't
Y'all
know if you
season
know,
fight.
but Fayetteville is a crazy city. It's I love it.
Wow, that is
They call
so.
it Vietnam.
Did your fellow brothers and sisters in arms? Did they know you did music? Did you
No,
sing? Or they didn't know?
no, that happened near the end of it, and really got into it when I got out. And then I actually went. They all went to college at North Carolina Central,
Okay.
so there was a period of time when I actually was up there in Durham living, and that's where they figured I had started playing. But right before then, so I bring a guitar. They like, what is going on? And then I'm playing around locally in North Carolina, going to open mics and stuff. And they're like, when did you pick that up?
So
So
what
all
all do
that
you play? You talking about playing music? What all instruments do you play?
guitar, yeah.
Just the guitar?
But I wrote because I used to write little letters, and I actually used to help people write their letters to their girls back home and stuff like
Oh,
that
you
too.
were that dude. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. You was like, yo,
yeah,
Anthony, man, hook a brother up, man. This girl,
yeah.
she got it.
But they give it to you and go, okay, I'm trying to say this. What you think? And I say,
Right.
twist it up like this. Da,
You
da, da.
make it sound good. Oh,
This
you
job
done, man.
now is an extension of all
You
that.
help, man. Did they break? Man, did they at least? They didn't
Yeah,
have Zelle and Cash App. Did they break you off? Cause
yeah, you
I'm
get
sure
to
you helped their love life. It was like
yeah, you get the
they
papers.
was
You know what I'm
they
saying?
were
Yeah,
stuck in the friend zone until that letter hit. Then that
yeah,
letter hit. It all changed literally overnight.
for sure. It was crazy because one of the letters I wrote to get myself out of the friend zone did not help at all.
So but you know what? That's how life is, Anthony.
Yeah, it is.
Your magic, it works for everybody else, but
For
sometimes
everybody but
it just
yourself.
don't work for you.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
you
yeah.
probably you shot your shot. You had all the great energy. You expended it for everybody else and
Yeah.
kept that one
Yeah.
for yourself. He's like, damn, I should have gave dude that one and kept this one.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
there
the
was
thing.
probably some letters that after you wrote them and read them, you probably said, "Damn, I ought to keep this for myself." How many of those did you see? Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. Thing is definitely it's funny. One of the first songs I ever wrote that ended up on India's album. I wrote that in the military when I was out processing. This guy said to me, he was just sitting next to me, some white dude that I didn't know him. I would never even notice it. Who I couldn't pick him out on the street now. He said he asked me something about what I do, and I said I like to write poetry or something. He was like poetry. He was like write me a poem, and he just was being funny, and I
Mm-hmm.
just wrote something down, and then when I wrote it, I was like, damn, that's pretty good. And I'd always kept it around. And then 4 or 5 years later, when we were writing, I was like, yo, I had this thing that I wrote, you know what I mean? And I always remembered it. I don't even think I had it written anymore. I just remembered it. And so we wrote it, and it's called Butterfly. If you check out, I think it's on her second album,
Okay.
Butterfly. Yeah, I wrote that in the army.
All right. So since we're talking about writing, so this is like a two-parter.
Mhm.
Um, well, first, if you could write for anybody, you
Mhm.
know, even if they dead or alive, we could give them some vibranium, and bring them back like Black Panther. Uh,
Mhm.
who would be the person that you would love to write a song for? And then I guess the second part, I don't guess it is the
Mhm.
second part because it's my question. What do you what do you love more? Writing? Because I can tell there's an organic love for writing, but then sometimes you can love to write or even play, but then the performer side is like a different switch click. So which one do you enjoy more, writing or performing?
Writing is hard, you know what I'm saying? In the sense of, especially the way I like to write. Um, it's just a lot of picking over stuff, and you know what I mean? Because
How
you're
long does it
looking.
take you to write it? If you had to say on an average, I know every
It
song is
depends.
different, but
It,
on an
it depends.
average,
Some things, especially if I'm kind of flowing a lot,
hmm
it might come in 5 minutes, it might come in years, it might come in days. It just depends on what the thing is.
yeah.
I'm lucky when it comes out like, oh, there we go, done. You know what I'm saying? Like done. One thing for me is it takes me a long time to become satisfied. So sometimes I'll do something really quick and not notice and not appreciate it until a little
Mm.
later.
Yeah, I can
But
imagine.
to answer your question, most about the artists, most of my favorite artists are writers, but Anita Baker's not necessarily a writer, and I love her, and that would be a cool thing to have her. She interprets vocals, I mean lyrics so great.
She does. That songstress album is iconic. I was listening.
All of her.
Yeah, we were listening. Me and Damaris, my wife, we were listening to that the other day. I love Anita. Now Auntie Anita a little different now than she was back in the '80s and '90s. Now, you know.
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's a
I'm biased.
yeah.
I don't.
Babyface was cool with it. It's
Yeah, yeah. It's one of them things too where there's so much stacked onto that stuff, and then the whole background of it all. Now I can see Babyface. Babyface is Babyface. He's one of my favorite guys ever. So
I
he
love
has
Face.
his
Yeah.
grievance. The rest of us, I mean, yeah, I ain't got nothing to say about Anita Baker. I love Anita
Oh
Baker.
no! Look. I ain't trying to get you in no trouble. It's just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm a
I'm like,
huge
no,
fan of
not even.
hers.
I'm just so biased against her. I mean, not against her, but for
For
her, it's just hard. I
oh,
can't even. You know.
listen, man. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about Anita. So I was. This was the mid '80s. This is probably around '85, '86. So I'm in college, but I
Mhm.
got a chance to work at like one of the big. It was WBMX at the time.
Yeah.
I was actually like part time, like swing shift weekend when folks was on vacation, and
Mhm.
uh, this was when because she was with Chapter 8, this
Oh
band,
yeah.
Chapter
Wow.
8.
So you're from Chicago, so you're right around there, Detroit, Midwest.
Yeah, right. Just I-94, you're straight east to Detroit from Chicago.
Mhm.
And so she came to Chicago, that debut album
Yeah.
that had all them hits on. She, back in the day, the record labels, they would do
Yeah.
these promo tours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they brought her to this club called the Taste Disco.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought her. So the record label, because she was with Elektra and a real good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, I was tight with the family, and the rep's brother and I went to college. They were a couple years older than me, but so they they brought Anita to the Taste. So she does like this radio appearance, just like a little track thing. Because this is when, like, this is before she actually blew up. But when they first started playing her stuff on the radio, folks like fell in love with it. So they bring her to the Taste nightclub on a night to where, so this is a huge club. So they got the front part where, they got the main DJ and folks partying. But on this, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Tuesday, the second part of the club, there was this glass door. And on that night, they had male strippers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they didn't give Anita Baker a heads up. So after she did her little set, her little track date thing, I guess she was just walking around the club. And so Anita, I guess, walks back into the section to where the strippers were. And the story goes, I guess one of the strippers, he didn't know because she wasn't Anita Baker then. That like the world knows. So he just, I guess, saw a sister come back and he like doing his thing.
Yeah.
Man, my friend, she tried to get him fired from that record label.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I was gonna say too. Over years and years of like being in the atmosphere and the environment that's
Yeah.
not best for your gift and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that ability to like kind of control it.
Yeah.
You get,
Yeah, I
things.
get it. Oh, I no shade, but
I
I
haven't
tell
been
people
in
that
that.
story.
I haven't been in that very often, but
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've been in the other seat so much that I hear stuff she does and I go, good. I want to
Right.
do that.
Yeah, but fortunately, my man, he didn't lose his job because he didn't. It
Good.
wasn't.
Well, good for that too. Yeah, by
Yeah,
the
and
way.
it wasn't his fault. She just, she was, I guess, she trying to walk around. All right, let me see the club. Oh, what's behind this glass
Right,
door?
right.
And just happened to stumble up on,
Right.
on some black Chippendales or whatever the hell they was calling them, Chocolate Thunder or whatever, Dark Lightning or whatever the hell they was calling them. But there was also the legendary stories that very short-lived tour, and I
Mhm.
remember people were so excited about it, Luther and Anita,
Right. See?
but it was just like oil and water because ironically, so the one brother that I told you about who I knew like family who worked for Elektra, which was Anita Baker's label, and his younger brother worked for the label that Luther were on. So I would hear these stories that they were just, if one of them's limo pulled up first, then the other one would, it was just that tour did not last long. I'm sure you heard those stories. They didn't. I don't know how many dates they did, but it was only a few. The tour that they thought they were going to do, it just because they just clashed. So, but I love Anita. Anita got a lot of. She got a lot of Anita Baker babies running around here, especially from them early albums, no
Course.
doubt.
Yeah.
So let's. All right.
One of
So
the artists that like, shoot, she could slap me and I'll be like, what did I do? Her and
well, Auntie Anita, here
Diana Ross.
you link up with my man. Oh yeah, and Diana. What? Because I just heard a story about Diana. Something happened with Diana, and she checked somebody. But listen. My mom is 80, 81. So you live that long. Listen,
Yeah.
you ain't look. You got a right to basically.
Got time to be
Yeah, just
pleasing
don't pull a
everybody.
Quincy Jones. But hey, you kind of earned the right to like. Just
Yeah.
if you're a little cranky or short
Yeah.
patience, or sometimes, like you said, you done experienced so much, your tolerance level is like minus
Sometimes you
zero.
can't please everybody all the time. Sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah. So I totally get it, man, completely. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to um, this new song and tell us. I'm sure it's a part of a new album, the longest time. I'm sure there's a story behind that. Share that story with us and tell us some
Yeah,
more
I
about
think I think
that and
it's
the
funny.
album, or if an album or
Yeah.
EP is coming, and who you got to work with.
That's funny you say that too, because you was like I was just being asked earlier if I had a title for the album. I think it is the longest time because I ain't had nothing in the longest time. But yeah, the single was
that was
awesome.
that was pretty good.
I think the single is all right. Well, this single is called "For the Longest Time." It's a little reggae vibe. You know what I mean? You know, this black music is expansive, and we all do. We by at this point, and American music really is expansive. We all go up on everything from rock and roll to roots reggae to blues, R&B, yada yada, and
We created,
yeah,
since you
yeah,
said that, I'm just going. We created and invented all of that. As a matter of fact, uh, I don't know if you saw Sinners, but there's a scene in Sinners that definitely speaks to what you just spoke about.
yeah, yeah. And I'm just saying in terms of just the influence that all of us have and the ability to reflect it back, you know what I'm saying? And in this case, reggae music, I'm not Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, but it's some music that I love. And like I said, the diaspora of it all, we can all show appreciation for that. And it's all part of one big pot, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it just came to me. The feeling, you know what I mean? I was really more in December when it was cold,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I was really wanting something to dig me out of my own little,
Right. I can't
see.
I can't afford to go to Jamaica, so let me write a song that make me feel like I'm in
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Jamaica.
seasonal blues of just like trying to get out the rut, but also just a love letter to some ladies I was listening to in discussions and also just seeing on the internet, you see all these discussions, all this stuff about women that are independent and have to do things on their own. But also you hear songs, you hear the sentiment, which is really capsulized in that old girl song. Soft girl era. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can do it, but they don't necessarily always want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they would like when somebody else can do it for them or help them out or just contribute. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, give them a break. It's like I
Yeah,
know we know you strong, sweetie. I got you. I got
yeah,
you. And
exactly.
it's funny you mentioned that, Anthony, because I've been in a lot of conversations about this, and you see on social media, and that's a whole different monologue. So you can
Yeah,
watch one of my back episodes. But we got
I've
so
been, I
many.
was on, I've been checking.
Yep,
Yeah,
we got forces outside the culture and the community that have been
yeah,
trying to divide us like since we've been here,
yeah.
from before 1619.
Mhm.
And all these narratives, and unfortunately, it's folks that look like me and you will get out here with these narratives. Well, black women ain't this, and I'm feed me a white girl because black women don't do this, and and black women say, well, black men. Listen, first of all, the internet does not reflect the majority of people, and the
Right.
bottom line is, I am going to take this liberty to speak for a black man, and I'm going to do it with a black man who has got love for the culture and for black women. Sisters, we want you to know that
Mhm.
in spite of that bullshit that you see on
Yeah.
social media, and no shade because he's dead, but that Kevin Samuels shit,
Mhm.
listen, we love you.
Yeah.
We got your back. We can't do what we need to do, especially in the times that we're living in now,
Mhm.
without you, because we didn't get this far
Mhm.
without each other.
Right.
We
Run the
love you.
track.
Yep. We love you and we need you, and vice versa. And the real men and the real brothers, we get that. And no shade to, Shannon Sharps and Stephen A. Sometime you F around and find out,
Let me
you
tell you
know.
something I like that you do. You say no shade, and then you bring them up.
Yeah, but no, listen. He put his own business out there. Listen. We didn't have to do the shade. He came with the shade tree. It's like, hey, dude, when Cat Williams and Monique tried to say, Shannon, you don't want to do that. So we're going to pray for the brother and lift him up. You know, my grandmother had a term, oh, you don't believe fat meat is greasy. That just meant
Uh,
you hard. That's real old school. Just
yeah,
hard
I know.
headed. You ain't gonna listen. You don't
That's
believe
right.
fat meat is greasy.
You say you're from Chicago. That's right. But
Yeah,
you in Charleston. You're in
yeah,
Charleston. Yeah.
yeah.
So
No,
how long you been there?
I've been here in Charleston 20 years now. 20 years in
Oh
March.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm back. I'm always back and forth because my
uh,
mother's still there,
yeah,
and my sisters, all my nieces and nephews, and got cousins. I just got back. I was there over the weekend, so
okay.
I just got back here. So the single, the longest time. Uh, so did you collaborate, writer? With, I know you write, but I know sometimes
I
writers
wrote
like
this
to
one.
collaborate. And who
I
did the
wrote
beats
this
for
one.
you?
I wrote this one, and then I even did the music, but I will do my rudimentary version of the music. Did the guitar. My boy Eddie Stokes, major producer, he's worked with from Dr. Dre to Akon, a lot of other people, but I mean he's the secret sauce. So it's like usually my rudimentary production. He really knows it. I mean he went to Berkeley. He's got the musical chops to
Gotcha. Okay.
really do it. I know how to do it vocally and lyrically and phrase and stuff like
And you
that.
got the pen game.
Yeah.
He got the beat game, but you got the
And he
pen
got an
game.
ill pen too. It's just where if I come to him, he'll be like, "I see what you're doing," because I love so much stuff that and like I said, he's really learned how to nail it, whatever we're doing. Because I would say this, even before this, I'm the first. I'm going to credit myself. I'm the first African American or Black American, whatever these words, everybody making new words all the time, to make an original Afrobeat song. Like I did one like 8, 10 years ago, because I knew that Afrobeats would be a big thing from the time I heard it. And I used to do little remixes, and then when it was time for make a record, an album, I was like, boom, and I put him onto it. He listened to it, boom, I get it. I know what's going on. He made the track, and then no matter what it is I do, he's a big Barris Hammond fan like me, a big Dennis Brown fan like me. I mean, these are all like music.
I got you. Shout the brother's name out. Who? Because I heard
Oh, Eddie Stokes.
Eddie
Yeah,
Stokes. I know I've seen
he's
his
done a lot of
name
stuff.
on
Uh,
credits and stuff. So you were
yeah.
a visionary. So how did you know that this Afro beats like now here, especially in the South, they call it like Southern Soul, which is R&B, but it's got a certain
Right.
vibe to it.
And
You
even
know,
that, I mean, an aspect of what I do has always been Southern Soul, but I like that it's getting this love, and because even when I did a song like "Boot Up," like a lot of times when I would tour, like Lafayette, Louisiana, and those other places, Birmingham has been a big market for me the longest time. Longest time, you see that? But when I would, a lot of those have the Southern Soul background, so I ended up performing with a lot of those guys. And so I just love seeing it get its shine. But yeah, for Afro beats, same as with Southern Soul. It's like what I love about Southern Soul is it's uniquely American, and it's given that same mood that people are that I saw that people were good out of Afrobeat. So it's like I'm watching this. I used to go to African bars. I still do, but that was where I started going, and I'm watching, and they used to like to just get dressed, and their music, lyrical content at that time would just be about enjoying life, getting dressed. Saying if it's a guy, he's saying, "Oh, this girl, you look so good." It's not a bunch of all the you took this from me and you this and that names and all that. And our songs, if we listen, because they like trap too. I might go to the Africa Club and listen to them rock their stuff, and then they will still listen to whatever trap song was like whatever where the song is calling you all kind of stuff. I don't know if we could curse on this
yeah,
show,
you
but
can. Yeah,
oh, okay, cool. So it's all kind of
I
shit.
do.
Oh yeah,
So
I've been getting shot in the song by the third verse.
yeah.
So I like the beats and the aggression of songs like that, but I can't really listen to them lyrics. So when I was going to these Afro beats clubs or African clubs, they had dance music because R&B people don't really even it's very rare that you could get an upbeat song that people will mess with because so much is so much American music is hip hop and they like that vibe. And so I'm going to these clubs and I'm seeing them dance up tempo music. It's not house music, but it's up tempo music, and they got so many dances. So I was watching this DJ used to DJ the videos. You know how you can manipulate the videos,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Video
watching
mixes,
that,
yeah, right.
and I'm like, ooh, they got a dance for this. It was like a Zonto was a dance at the time, and this dance and this, and I was like, oh, this is it. They got it, and they spent their money on their videos too, and they was looking so good, and they was using nice crisp, hard sounds that we would use. Because before, if you listen to it in the 90s, they was using really crappy sounds, but they had started hitting them kicks and snares like we have, and and then their rhythm, you know, the flow that they had. So I was like, oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna go crazy. And soon enough, yeah,
It
David
did.
O and WizKid and all them started going. So yeah, I knew it. I knew it was gonna be huge. And and again, so I like, like I said, we black. We when I travel the world, I like. I've been to Kenya. That's where I first heard it. Been to Ethiopia. When I go, I've been to Brazil. Like when you hear certain rhythms, they make you move. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And reggae music is global music that I've been appreciating for a very very long time. And that's the same vibe. It's like you want to talk to the woman and say something cool. You don't really. It's not meant for arguing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah. Huh?
it's interesting that you make that point, Anthony. But if you think about it, we influenced that. We exported that.
Yeah.
That's the 70s and the 80s.
Yes. Of
Now,
course.
the late 80s and the 90s
Yeah, we
was
switched
a
it up.
whole different energy. Now, that's a whole different monologue, and I just
Right.
simply explained to
And
people,
so when they give it back, it's like,
right,
oh,
right, we
it's
gave it to them, but
right.
let's talk about what happened to our music. Like you said, it took the shift.
Mhm.
I just think about we was just talking about Marvin. I was talking about Marvin Gaye. Come on, Teddy
Right.
Pendergrass, and I
Right.
mean Face, Baby Face, Keith
Right.
Sweat.
Yeah.
Or partying from Guy, or
Yeah.
Prince or Michael Jackson, or just so many artists. But then, you know, you know, then it was into the whole gangster and violence and killing each other.
Yeah.
And
All,
I'm just gonna
good.
say this: that didn't happen by accident.
Mhm.
And consider who the gatekeepers were. Consider
Right.
who determined who got the record deals, and
Right.
consider who determined what kind of music that was going to be put out into our community. And it wasn't
Hmm.
an accident. So
Yeah.
it was intentional. That's a whole nother monologue. But I mean, it's brothers like you. I love to, because we had the whole neo soul, because you talked about India. She was part of the whole,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what, late 90s, early 2000s neo
Yeah.
soul kind of.
Right. That's trying to do it, and so that's my ethos. And
Yeah.
look, I don't really have much to say about whoever's doing what I mentioned. I already spent enough time talking about it. Like, I just don't really listen to it much, and I try to just do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people doing that, and so I just stay in that lane. I'm not even good at doing the other thing. Nobody wants to hear that from me. I remember Brian McKnight tried to do the song about how the pussy works, and people was like, and
Right.
that might be his thing that he does. There's things I do that ain't, they don't make it into my songs, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody want to hear that from me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it just wouldn't it just wouldn't
it's
fly.
ain't right. It don't work. You know what
It,
I'm saying?
it it would just be like some trap artist trying to remake Ron Isley's, like, For the Love of You. It's like,
Right.
nah, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Which they'll be like for the blood of it or
Yeah,
something.
right. It's like, no, partner, you need to go on back over in that corner, hit that trap beat, lead us to Ronald Isley, and let the folks do, because
Yeah.
you would hear all this talk. R&B has never been dead, folks. Like I said, I mean, they
Bruh.
aren't.
Say that again. Say that one more
It's
time.
never been dead. I've been doing radio for 3.5 decades.
The lifeblood
Still,
of all of it.
come on, still doing it today. There was always, I mean, from the 70s to the 80s. I mean, you had R&B. I could go, all
Yeah.
the great R&B music.
Yeah.
So many. I don't even want to start naming names, but I'm thinking of Tevin Campbell's "Can We Talk." But
Of
I
course.
mean, you had so many artists, some groups that were
I like.
one-hit wonders. Brownstone, SWV,
Oh
came
yeah,
out of the
shout out to my
90s.
guy Gordon Chambers because I was talking about Anita Baker earlier.
Hmm.
He wrote that song Brownstone, and he wrote my favorite Anita Baker song, I Apologize. He wrote
Yeah,
that. He
right.
wrote
So all of
he
that
wrote
you had, I mean,
Charlie too. He wrote
right. I
Charlie too.
mean, Chris Brown when he came on the scene was
Chris Brown's great.
R&B. I could go on and on and um, Brandy,
Mhm.
Monica, come on,
Yeah,
Maya,
and it's
Jodeci,
always gonna be that.
Silk. So it
I just did a show in London with Lil G. He lives
really
in
okay, yeah. So R&B is once again you got to consider the source.
girls
Who's
want you to sing something sweet to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they like the hard stuff too, apparently, but they like the sweetness.
yeah?
So
Listen, okay, all that. Listen, all that other shit that folks is talking, yeah. Okay, when you get through trying to be this fake thug and gangster, and it's
yeah,
2 in the morning in the club, and you like, I'm trying to get on something.
yeah.
You ain't playing the trap music if you get somebody from the club going back to the crib. You ain't playing that. You putting on some Marvin or some Ronald Isley or some Keith or some Silk or Jodeci or Maxwell or whatever. I mean, we could go on and name someone. Or they throwing one
Oh,
of your joints on like the
the
so
boys, the men. Let
yeah.
me see
Come
with
on.
that real quick,
Yeah.
because along with this project, I'm trying to get this EP done. It's an acoustic EP with my cousin, who happens to be in Boys the Men, Sean
Who?
Stock.
That's your cousin?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
shout out to my dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're working on something that we're trying to get. Actually, before the album, an acoustic EP. We're doing like 3 songs or whatever. We already got one called "Low Country Love," as a matter of fact.
I love that, man. Man, I hope y'all do a whole album, cause I would
Yeah,
love to
yeah.
hear
I
that.
mean, we'll get around to it.
So when are you all gonna drop the first single? Have you all decided and picked a?
It's up to him, really. Like he just did one, and he just started his podcast. You've probably seen it on that note. And have you seen that? Have you
No, but I'd love to
Oh,
have them on the
great.
show. As a matter of fact,
Oh,
when y'all really get in the studio and
uh-huh.
collabo out, please bring them back
Mhm.
on. Look. You got a permanent home on this platform, but
Straight up.
yeah, I
I'll send
love.
you a little clip of what we got. But yeah, yeah, check it out. It's called On That Note. He
I'm gonna
had
do that.
Johnny
Absolutely.
Gill, Baby
Oh yeah.
Faye. He had Howard Hewitt on there the other day. We
It's my
wasn't we
dude.
didn't
He's been Howard's been on this show. I mean,
so
Howard
he
and
had all of them. It's on
Kenny
YouTube. Like
Lattimore. Yeah, I've let us see. I've had so many folks on.
oh, shout her out.
I
That's the
had
girl.
Ronald Isley on the show cracking them up. I told him, I said, I said, Mr. Big, Ronald Isley. I said, do you know how many Isley brother babies that you got running around on this planet? And it
And
caught him off guard. He was like, he had this look like, millions? I said,
yeah,
yes. There are
yeah.
millions of Isley brother babies and Isley brother grandbabies running around.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
it,
Millions,
it is.
tens of millions, maybe.
So your dream collaboration, vocally, if you could do like a duet or collabo, who would that be? It don't have to be one. Who would that or they be?
Truthfully, I feel like I've done them. I mean, there's a lot of people I really respect and stuff, but the
Well,
people
we
I
know
work with,
Anita and India, so
yeah,
we
yeah,
already
yeah.
got
Well, India, we've done that. We've
right.
done with India, and that's what I mean is like the people that are actually in my immediate universe. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like from Eddie Stokes to Mila to Algebra to India to Keisha Jackson. When I'm rocking with these people, I know what I see out there. To Sean, we have a song together already on another album. Well, that they're, I know that they are, whether they're like Sean in India, they are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like the truth. So, the main thing about my collaborations with any people is I am a fan of them, and then also when we actually meet and hang out, we click. So however that happens in the future, I will say me and Teacher Moses have been around each other lately,
Yeah,
and I have always been a
I'm a
fan of
fan of
her.
hers too. Yeah, yeah.
But I have some stuff I started. I haven't told this to her, so I don't know. I was thinking that would be nice because I always just like her swag. She's so sweet. She fine, you know what I'm saying? And she's got that energy that
Yeah, I love her energy. So
she,
Tidra, there you go.
Yeah, so there you go.
Hook that
That that's a
collabo up.
long
There
way
you go.
around. Yeah, it was a long way around to it. I had to talk sometimes and
Yeah,
get there.
yeah. I got you. I got you back. This is a collabo. Y'all come
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
show
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
talk about it.
yeah.
Listen, you got is there a video for the longest time?
A little clip that I done, if you check out my IG and
Okay.
also my YouTube, yeah, I just performed it real quick and stuff like that. I'm gonna do so. I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole video for it, but this is a new era where I would do, like I got some stuff where I definitely want some like some friends of mine, again, friends of mine that are girls that are dope ass dancers that I was like, yo, I want you to, do to give me that feel of like when you get that Sean Paul joint. I'm still in love. You remember
Oh
that
yeah.
video? I want to get something like that, a man and a woman dancing together on that vibe and just something like that. I'm thinking more on clips now. I think even when it comes to this playlist versus album thing, I think in terms of like songs just to give a mood and then we put them all together and I guess we call that an album. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking like,
A
the,
vibe. You just create
yeah,
a vibe.
vibes.
Yeah.
There you go, vibes. Yeah,
Just a grown and sexy ass
yeah.
vibe. Just cool
So,
vibe. You know, we
mhm.
ain't fighting, we ain't shooting.
I don't
You
want to
know,
argue.
we it's just beautiful black on black love. Yeah, my one of my nieces, she has a term. She said, some people bring the noise. We ain't bringing the noise. We just, it ain't gonna be noise. It's gonna be beautiful music, and we just gonna have a good time and do our thing. So you were speaking of social media before I wanted you before you were gonna get out of here. I want you to let everybody know where they
Yeah.
can follow you on social media and support
Yeah.
everything that you're doing.
The one
Download your music. The EP. So you're still
yeah, the
deciding
song
whether or
we
not.
got now is forever. I mean, excuse me, forever. For the longest time is out right now. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
on all stuff. The Spotify's, the titles, the
Apple
Apple Music,
Music, all that.
iTunes, yeah. And then but the social media that I'm on that waste the most of my time is Instagram.
That's okay. Whatever it is, man.
That's Anthony David ATL. I have a TikTok that's Anthony David Sound. They already took Anthony David ATL for some reason. Facebook is just Anthony David.
You have a
That's it.
YouTube channel here on
Oh yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, that's Anthony David Sound as well. Yeah, yeah,
On
yeah.
YouTube. All right, great.
You find a lot. I do the shorts and all that kind of stuff over there. Yeah.
So you decide whether or not have you completely decided, or did I hear you right? You still trying to decide if you're gonna just do like the shorter EP or the full album for this longest
I
time.
feel like it's gonna be an album. I got a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It could be an EP, but I got at least 8 to 10 that I'm sitting on now. So I just got to whittle it down to. I want it to be impactful. So I mean, I like it to be. It have to fit the vibe, and that's the beauty of today is that you can do an EP if you want. The length of projects is not the doesn't matter anymore. But we're
Yeah.
sitting on some things. You know what I'm saying? So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Well,
But
listen, like I said, Anthony, in a minute, brother, you got a permanent home here on the platform. Come on, we can
gonna get
kick
out
it.
Charleston real soon, man.
Yeah, we can bring Tidra on. Come on with Anita and talk about
You know
y'all.
what? If you want, I'll shoot it. I'll shoot it to see if she'll come. I mean, if y'all ain't in communication already, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no, I'm not. No,
She had the
listen.
20th anniversary of her thing as well. You know what I'm
Come on,
saying?
hey, dude, listen. This ain't no Hollywood talk. I mean, you talk your people sweet. She know this is no. If I tell you you have a permanent home on
Mhm.
this platform, you got a permanent home because we
Yeah.
all on the same vibe. And I've been saying, especially since November, it is clear that we, as a culture, as black folks in America, we are all we got. But the truth is, we got everything we need. So we
Mhm.
really are all we need. If we come together like the Black Avengers and all the genius and the gifts and the brilliance and the talent. I mean, folks like you, me, we got some, and we've generated trillions of dollars. For other folks, it's like, all right, we done. Y'all do y'all thing. Going over there. We can come home. We gonna get in the lab and we gonna do this and we gonna have fun and we gonna eliminate the noise, but
Mhm.
don't f around and find out. Don't
Mhm.
start no stuff. It won't be none because we ain't
Yeah.
bothering nobody. We
Oh
just
shoot.
we just
Yeah,
want to
I'm fine.
live our life and be the best version of ourselves. So
Let's go. I
that's
appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
yeah.
having me on,
Oh
man.
no, thank you, Anthony David. The longest time. Check it out. And the video that you say you've kind of put together, is
On
that on YouTube
Instagram,
or
it's
is that
on
on you
you.
or
It's on
Instagram or both?
Instagram. It's on all the stuff.
Okay, so we can go check that out and support what this brother's doing. So
I will,
listen,
man.
shout out to your cousin. So it's
Yeah.
in the DNA. Y'all got singing jings in the family there. What side of
Yeah.
the family is he on? Cousin, mom or dad side?
My mom. That's
Okay.
my Uncle Bubba, her brother, oldest brother. That's his son. Yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to all the moms. My mom
Yes,
is
indeed.
watching.
Mhm. Yes,
Shout out to your mom.
yes, indeed.
What's
For
your
sure.
mom's name? Let's shout her out.
Hazel Esther Alvina Sanders, a real Southern Geechee name.
I love it. Yeah, come on, shout out, mom. Come on now. It's Mother's Day, so I'm sure you have probably written many songs about her.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I'm sure she'll say, "Oh, my baby, I love all his songs." Because my mother, she would say something like that. But
yeah.
shout out to all the moms and the moms to be again, including Miss Rihanna, who unveiled her baby bump.
That's
Anthony
right.
David, you all
That's right.
support this brother on Instagram, on TikTok. Did I say
Yeah,
that right? You said TikTok,
TikTok,
right here on
Instagram,
YouTube, and he's got
YouTube.
his shorts and everything else, and on Facebook. I appreciate you, brother. May God continue to bless and
Gotta
have
call
favor.
your brother now, James Lewis.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the conversation. So come on
I
back,
appreciate you,
so that we
man.
can
That was
talk
fun.
sports, uh, basketball,
Only
football,
sport I
whatever,
know, only sport
music.
I know is MMA.
Hey, this is cool. We can talk that and
Okay.
whatever. But I enjoyed it, man. So
Uh,
thank you to you, and shout out to our girl, sweet sister. She put this together, so I
yeah,
appreciate you. All right,
that's it.
brother Anthony David. Thank you, man. I'll be
Good thing,
looking
man.
out for that video if you do the full length video for the
That would be
longest
you'll,
time.
you'll see it. We're gonna make
As a
it.
matter of fact, when you get it, shoot it to me. As a matter of fact, come on back and you can tell the story about it, and
I love
introduce it
that.
right here on the show.
All right, that's
All right.
what's up, man.
Thank you,
Thank you,
brother.
bro.
All right.
That's it. Yes.
Cool. Anthony David, good vibe. That's my dude. We had a good conversation. Had a lot of fun. All right, let me just do this. All right, listen. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. And especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago Central Time, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles, and on the West Coast. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. I'm about 150 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means that my media company will get a monthly check from YouTube. So let's secure the bag for the show more and for the company too. More important, let's support Black-owned media so we can continue to have great conversations and speak truth to power and have fun and joy and love and light into each other's lives, because there's a lot of darkness around. So we're gonna be that beam of light, that sunlight, that sunshine through the darkness. So you can support, if you like to support the show financially, support my media company. I'd greatly appreciate that, because we need to financially support our Black-owned media that we own, that we control, that we can tell our own stories and create our own narratives, and not have folks that's outside the culture that don't give a shit about us, that wants to divide us and conquer us, to spread lies and misinformation and disinformation and false narratives about us and about our community. That's why they want to ban books and history, because they don't want the truth to be told. But that's their problem. It's not our problem. I say that's a you problem. Don't let a you problem become a me problem. All right. So you can financially support the show. You can Zelle me. You can Zelle my company, Geno Jones Show. That's at Zelle. My email address is genojonesshow@gmail. That will connect you to my Zelle account for my business, or you can connect to via Cash App, $Dad G Jones, capital D, lowercase a d, capital G, capital J, lowercase ONES. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to City Vibes Bar and Lounge, because I was gonna get them on today, then I realized I had a guest. So I got a call. Shout out to Corey and Kenya Williams. I'm going to hit y'all up. As a matter of fact, after this show, and hopefully we can get them on. Thursdays is kind of tough. Maybe we'll figure that out. That's a post-production kind of conversation. We'll figure that out and have that conversation after the show. So shout out to Dr. Al Greer, and shout out to Rosalind, everybody else that was watching the show. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to tell everybody to post something on social media, type a post, put a video up, copy and paste the link to check out the show. Subscribe to my channel because I'm, like I said, really close to becoming that YouTube partner and getting that monthly check from YouTube for my company. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And the next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow we celebrate Black-owned businesses. So there's a Black business owner. Well, she owns a couple businesses, and she's going to tell us about an insurance company, a Black-owned insurance company that's been around for, like, I think a century. So we'll talk about that. Make sure she's still coming on. All right, thanks, everybody. I love you. Be sure to copy and paste this link. Be sure to share this episode on all your social media platforms. Copy and paste the link in a text message, email, tag everybody you know on all the different social media platforms. I want to thank my guest, Anthony David. He's got the song called The Longest Time. He did the joint with Algebra back in the day. Forever yours, forever mine, forever yours, I think. So, but you can find it. Algebra and Anthony David. That was a joint. The beats was popping. All right, everybody, I love you. Absolutely, positively, unconditionally love you. And we'll see you live Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Central Time, 5:30, live in Los Angeles, 3:30 p.m. right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Holla.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.